Hi, and welcome to the Crit Hit Wild podcast, where we cover all things Marvel Crisis Protocol, and we do a new character every week. This week, we're going to be talking about Archangel, and I'm your host, Fred.
I'm Brad.
And I'm Steven.
Hey guys, Brandon is currently, I think he's probably asleep. We're doing an early morning record, and he is not here, so we think he is probably just sleeping in. Oh well, we'll make fun of him later for it. Hey, how are you two doing? How are you doing today, Steven?
I'm doing pretty good, Fred. Thank you for asking.
How about you, Brad? How are you doing?
Pretty good. And I just, for the record, want to state that it is 9:30, so it's not that early. On a day where, if it wasn't a holiday, Brandon would have to be at work. So he really has no excuse.
Yeah. Hey, sometimes we need to sleep in. Well, I am very tired. We went to MatsuriCon in Columbus. She who tolerates living with me and myself, and we had a lot of fun. But we were there and got very exhausted. But it was a ton of fun. Highly enjoyed. It was a good weekend, and I'm just happy that I have today off. Uh, well, let's talk about some stuff having to do with Marvel Crisis Protocol, shall we? All right. So coming up later this month, this is the month of September. We have on the 14th is the Akron Brew Brawl, held at Missing Falls Brewery, in Akron, Ohio. This was a ton of fun the last time we went. I am looking forward to attending this month. It should be fun. Hey Brad, do you know if it has had more people sign up? I think the last time we checked, it was a little bit under. Uh, it was under full,
It
which
was
I'm a little bit surprised about.
under full.
It was under full.
I will check right now, but
Okay.
I need a
Uh,
second.
then coming up later, on the 21st of September is excuse me, is a tournament at Lost Legion Games and Comics. That is our local store in South Charleston. Brad, I will not be present at this one. I found out recently that I am going to be going out of town, so
Boo.
I will not be present on the 21st.
There are
Uh,
currently
uh,
13 people signed up for Akron Brew Brawl.
that is nuts. Y'all need to sign up for Akron Brew Ball. It was fun.
Brandon promised that when we recorded, he would tell us if he was going or not.
Well, maybe that's why he's still waffling, and so he's not showing up on the record.
Maybe.
We'll see. And then on the 28th of September is a tournament at Fabricators Forge in Pittsburgh. This is a BECC qualifier, and it is also an LVO qualifying. Is it a points qualifier?
No, it's a full qualifier.
It's a full qualifier. So that one will be packed. Everyone show up. We're going to Pittsburgh for Fabricators Forge. Everyone should be there. All right. That is what's on the radar looking ahead. Do we have any MCP news? I know that we got some tactics cards that came out, but we will be talking about them later today with Archangel. So,
Fred, do you want to talk about the tactics cards that came out for characters we already reviewed?
Yes. What are they? I don't know them off the top of my head.
One is self-help.
Self-help. Okay. Let me find that one. What is the other one?
The other one is called Practice Round.
Practice Round. Okay. All right. Self-help. It is an unaffiliated reactive tactics card. When an allied warlock is dealt damage by an enemy attack, after the attack is resolved, he may spend 2 power to play this card. The attacking enemy character and all characters within range 2 of it gain the poison special condition. Then warlock gains 1 power for each character with the poison special condition within range 3 of him. Hey, this makes his ability to do 2 damage to people with poison much more useful. Much more useful. Yeah, I like.
Sure.
I don't hate that at all. but I think that's all that this is useful for, and I don't know if this makes the 5
No,
that you can take.
I don't think
I mean, it'll depend on the cards available for New Mutants, I guess.
it sure will. So one of those is the leadership.
One of them's the leadership. Yeah,
You'll
you're
have
right.
1 to 2 restricted cards, usually 2.
Yeah. And then this one, I don't
Maybe.
think this one makes the 5. It would almost never make the 5. I would say.
Nah. Let's look at practice
I
round.
mean, yeah. Okay. Practice round. It is a New Mutant specific tactics card. It is reactive. When an allied character rolls dice, if the result contains no crit results, that character may play this card. The character that played this card may roll any number of dice, may re-roll any number of dice, including skull results. Okay. When they roll dice. So this could be used if you're doing a pay to flip.
It can. It can be used on attack. It can be used on defense. It's
Yep.
reroll any number of attack dice, including skulls.
Yep. Yeah, this is good. This is a good card.
Yeah,
This is
I think you'll
maybe a
take
great
this
card.
one.
Yeah. It also costs nothing.
Yes.
It's actually an outstanding card.
Yeah. I don't think this is one of the
Uh,
reasons why you won't be taking the other one.
Right. Yeah, Warlock's going to be sitting there like, why don't I get a card? Well, this is why, Warlock. He's even on this card.
Yeah, of course he is, Fred.
It's Warlock, Wolverine, and someone else. I don't know who that is on the right.
It's okay, so the picture's real bad. Wolverine
It is a
who
bad picture.
Wolverine's who they're practicing against.
Okay.
That right one is probably Wolfsbane.
Wolfsbane. Okay, another character I've never heard of before in my life.
Did you not see the New Mutants movie?
No. Hold on. Me and most of America.
Oh, it's
I saw
actually
it, Fred.
it's actually pretty decent. It's not that bad.
Okay.
They completely assassinate one of the characters from the comics and make them a bad guy when they're not. But other than that, it's pretty good. There's also looks like 2 other characters on that card, Fred. So on the
there
top,
are. You're
on
right.
the top right is Cannonball. It's very clearly
Okay.
Cannonball. And then like
Yes.
top middle, that looks like it's probably Magma.
Magma. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I've heard of Cannonball before.
The
Sure.
only thing I didn't like about the New Mutants movie is that the villain was pretty poor. So
Well, once again, not a villain. So
I understand.
if that's who you're
to
talking
have-
about, if you're talking about the other villain, I actually thought that was pretty good. But
Yeah, we're not going to spoil anything for Fred because we're going to torture him. So.
Yeah, I'm sitting here like I don't know if there's a joke happening. I don't know what's going on.
Fred, just watch the movie. It's pretty good.
Okay. Well,
The characters are fine, but any good hero movie has to have a good villain in it.
Mm-hmm. That is true.
They nailed the casting on several people too.
Okay.
Top
All right. Well,
casting.
Those are the new cards that we are going to. Oh, is that it? Are those the only 2?
Those are the only 2.
Yeah, those are the cards that we know of for New Mutants. I really like one of them, and one of them is not great, not ideal. But yeah, all right. Let's move on then. What is now? I'm all mixed up. What is the next segment that we usually do? We would usually hop into games that we've played recently. I have not played a game recently. I have not played since the last time we recorded. What about you, Brad? Have you played any games recently?
I did. I played a game on Thursday against Borka, and he was playing Asgard with the new models. And he played Brandon first round, and I was really hoping Brandon was going to be on here to talk about that because I have no idea what happened. And then I played him.
I kind of know what happened. I know that Borka won.
Okay, see, that's more than I remember.
Yeah,
Um,
Borka won that game.
good. It was very close. I remember that. It was a very good game. It was very close. It was very interesting. Brandon was playing Kingpin. I did not remember the result. And then I played Borka.
Yeah.
We got Gamma, his Gamma, and I was Gamma Researcher. No, it couldn't
Oh,
have been. It was Researcher Meteors. It was my Meteors, his Researcher. That's what happened.
okay.
And he chose 15 points.
Oh
I
no.
did not want to see Researcher. So he played Loki, 6 Point Thor, and Beta Ray Bill. I
A
played.
pretty wild 15 points. That is a terrifying 15 points, if I do say so
It's
myself.
not what he should have played. I'll get to that in a minute.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. I played Cyclops, Psylocke, Bishop, X-23. I go up 4-2 the first turn because I get the Researcher and flip 2 points. He attacks me with Thor on the first turn and doesn't do any damage. I think that's the only attack he does. I push him back with Cyclops, and Psylocke and Bishop are both on the middle point. I got it first, then Bill flipped it, then Bishop flipped it back. And X-23 was on the other side of the trailer where she couldn't be seen, which was nice. At the start of the second turn, in the first activation, Borka moved up Thor, played Brothers in Arms, which is a really good card. Oh, he threw himself up and played the card. And then made a big attack on someone and just whiffed. And then
Oh no.
made another attack on this was Psylocke. I know for sure this was Psylocke. And then I rolled 3 defense dice. I re-rolled one and ended up getting all 3 blocks. And then he was still gonna do 4 damage. So I Xavier's dreamed and paid with the other 3 characters to take 1. I had
Oh man.
I
So
had I had
Thor's activation. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
yeah, Thor's activation was nothing. He did 1 damage. And that's the first damage he did all game. I forgot first turn Psylocke went up and did like 2 or 3 damage to Bill. And stripped off some power.
Okay.
So, that may have happened on turn 2 that I stripped off his power. Because later on in the turn, it's very important. Bill has no power on him. So it might have been that after Thor, I activated Psylocke and did that. And then he activated Loki. And I don't think Loki put any damage on anyone.
Yeah, Loki's not a damage dealer.
No, he's not. And then on my turn, I went with Bishop. And the first thing I did was throw the trailer that was in the middle of the table right by the fight at Beta Ray Bill, who had no
Who doesn't have any power
to brace. And so, and he just dazes right there. And that's when Borka conceded. And then we sat around and talked.
Okay. Okay. Wow. Bishop threw a trailer.
Yeah,
and
I
took
was
out
gonna
Beta Ray Bill.
score at least 4 points again. I might have been able to go flip the last meteor out from under Loki and
Yeah, because
score
you still had
5.
activations and he did not.
Yes.
He
Yeah,
had
I
no
had
more
2
activations.
more.
Oh man.
And I hadn't even attacked with Bishop yet.
Right.
So
Yeah, so you could have done a lot.
I was gonna try shooting at Loki. because if I daze him, I can more easily flip that point. But he didn't even get to activate Bill turn 2. So
Oh man.
yeah, he was mad about the dice rolls already, and then when Bill dazed, I think that was just the final straw.
Yeah.
He was not having fun. So
He mentioned to me that he hates attrition. He hates having to depend on dice. So
yes,
yeah.
yeah, and he keeps talking himself into doing it, and then it never goes well, and then he's mad.
But he likes the new Asgardians. So do you think that he would have been better off if he had taken Mighty Thor instead
Yes,
of Loki?
yes, yeah, and I I definitely talked about me and someone else talked about that after the game, and it may have been that I talked about it twice with him and then with uh, Brandon, but it doesn't matter. Yeah, he would have been better off. It would have given him an extra defensive reroll, which could have been
Mm-hmm.
relevant, and she would have done more in the game. Even if at that point she wouldn't have done more, overall, I think she would have done more against my list.
Yeah.
I think
Okay.
Loki's a great pick for some matchups, and then Mighty Thor for others at that 15-point level.
Yeah. Just like looking at the two, I like Loki more, but there's definitely a lot of places where you'd rather have Mighty Thor than Loki.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Is that the only game that you played?
That is the only game I played. I saw, once again, want Brandon to be here because he watched this whole game. But on Saturday during Vampire, Michael played Apocalypse against Borka, who was playing Web Warriors.
Well, okay. Web Warriors.
Yes, with Namor.
Okay. How did
Uh,
that go? Do you know nothing about it?
I know a little. So
Okay.
Michael played Apocalypse, of course, Wolverine, Honey Badger, and Cassandra Nova. It
Oh.
was Infinity Formula and Spider People. Borka had Miles, Spectacular, Black Cat, Namor, Ghost Spider. Yeah.
Okay.
And then at one point, Michael was gaining more points. So he started to retreat to his left, where Borka didn't have any models. But we all kind of pointed out to him that if he did that, Borka would win. Because even though he was scoring more points, he was behind and would not get ahead in time. And so after this was pointed out, Michael changed what he was doing. He didn't undo anything he did, but he, in the future, made different choices than he would have otherwise. And I think ended up winning this game by 1, maybe. It ended up being
Okay.
really, really close. And there's a lot of crazy stuff going on. No, Borka won because of Miles going to that side of the board that Michael had eventually completely retreated off of.
Okay.
The side he
Okay.
was gonna go to, he ended up with nobody over there, and so they couldn't do anything about Miles. I think Michael's takeaway was like, if he's only gonna play 4 models, one of them can't be Honey Badger.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a rough pick.
Yes. So, that was bad. Honey Badger survived the whole game. And he did say that Honey Badger got him something like 10 tokens throughout the game. 10
Okay.
Horseman tokens, which is really good, but she didn't really contribute to points.
Yeah,
So
she scored him no points.
yeah,
Yeah,
she may have denied points, but she didn't score any.
right.
Cassandra Nova seemed pretty good. What I saw as Famine.
I always want her to be good in something, and I've never seen her like she just never sees the table because there's no place for her in any of her affiliations until now.
Yeah,
I
I
want
think I think she makes a good Famine if you can afford the points to play her.
yeah.
Uh, I don't know. It was interesting. There was I don't know. I didn't get to see the whole game because I was busy actually having to play Vampire.
Yeah, same. All right, Steven, did you have any games that you wanted to play and talk about?
Well, um, just briefly, I played Robbie on Thursday, and I played Brandon also. They were running the new Asgard. Uh, ran my Hydra list against them. I won against Brandon, and I lost against Robbie. So I'm still trying to figure out what I need to do to tweak this Hydra list. I think it will have legs, especially when Apocalypse comes out, because Apocalypse under Strucker Hydra will be a menace. If you're
Uh,
looking for a faction to put Apocalypse in, that's not his own.
boy, are you talking about splashing Apocalypse?
Into Strucker Hydra, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Uh, all right. I mean, I would see that being an effective thing. I've just never thought about splashing him.
I mean, if you're gonna splash him somewhere, that seems like a pretty good spot.
Yeah, that does seem like a place to put him.
Because
And
heals off of Strucker's leadership. He heals himself. I mean, it's just
Yeah.
it's happy.
He can't die. He will never die.
we also do not know Apocalypse's other affiliations if he has any. He's not going to be Hydra, but
No, he's not.
he may be affiliated Brotherhood or Cabal or something, and we just don't know that yet.
I have been
But
reading Ten of Swords, a compilation of uh graphic novels involving where he is involved, and he is quite awesome in it. And he's also kind of affiliated with the good guys, weirdly.
He is. He's never actually on a team called X-Men though.
Okay, okay.
He's on the Excalibur team during that era.
All
but
right.
but the most exciting thing about this past Thursday is that we had 3 new people show up
That's
to
Ooh,
the
awesome.
group. Yeah, so um, and we welcomed them. Everybody liked and got along, and they said, "Yep, we're coming back next week." So that's all the positive.
hey, that is a huge positive.
Correct. Yeah. 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 At one time, we had like 22 or 24 players
Oh my goodness.
at the height, but now we're down to about like 14. So
14's still good.
That's still respectable.
yeah, but yeah, maybe we'll see a resurgence and get our numbers up even more. So that's the good thing.
Nice. All
Hey,
right. Well,
hey Fred, in other gaming news, did you see that A Song of Ice and Fire has a new faction coming out?
I did not see that. What is the new faction?
Brotherhood Without Banners.
Ooh, interesting.
I thought that would interest
Interesting.
you.
Okay. I do like that. Uh I want to start playing that game again. I want to.
It's a good game.
They it is a good game. It's just I just don't have the time. And I've
Yeah.
been it's I don't have the bandwidth to play a bunch of different tabletop games at the moment. I was looking at some of the new stuff, and I was thinking to myself, I just don't even know how this game works anymore.
What?
I hadn't
Song
played
of
it
Ice and
for
Fire?
yeah. I
Yeah,
hadn't played it for like a year.
you remember how to play it, Fred. If we
I
sat down,
would remember if we started. It would be
yeah,
like when I started playing Guild Ball again.
yeah,
Like, my first activation, I'd be like, I don't even know how to play this game, and then the moment that it actually started, it would click back into place.
yes, definitely.
All right, let's move on. It is distinctly possible that we may be joined by Brandon. I think he is awake, so Brandon may be joining us mid-record, but we'll make fun of him when he joins us. Everyone, don't worry. Let us. Should we hop into the trivia corner, Brad?
Sure,
Into
we could
Brad's
do
trivia
that.
corner. Okay.
Okay. So I have a trivia game I invented to make fun of Fred. Uh, how this game works is I'm gonna ask Fred trivia from the comics about a Marvel Crisis Protocol character. Uh, Fred has only read the comics I have given him, and has only heard me
I
talk
will
about
say
comics.
I will say it is kind of nice being curated only the best things.
Are you enjoying X of Swords or Ten of Swords?
I am. It's actually quite awesome. I think it's not as good as House of X Powers of 10,
Yes.
but it is still pretty awesome. I am enjoying it.
Fred, House of X Powers of 10 is the best X-Men story ever written. So of course it's not
Yeah.
as good as the best X-Men story ever written, but it's still
But it's
pretty
pretty
good.
good. It's still pretty good.
Next I'll give you the conclusion of his storyline.
Okay.
The conclusion. Okay.
I
So
have not finished the 10 of Swords yet. So
right. Well, when you
yeah.
bring it back, I can give you the next one.
Okay.
So Fred's going to get 3 points if he gets the question right. If he doesn't, I'll give him a hint where he can earn 2 points. And if he still gets it wrong, if we'll do it this way in case Brandon joins in the middle. Brandon and Steven can talk about it, and if they can give a right answer together, he'll get 1 point. He needs 6 points to win.
All right. Let's do this.
Fred, do you have any questions? Great. This character is solo series. Solo series is, I don't know, plural. Has had some problems seeing print. A lot of the series from the 90s has never been reprinted, and the older series has only ever been fully reprinted in black and white. And even weirder, the 90s run had a fully completed issue 94 that never got printed at the time. 9 years later, in 2007, that issue was finally printed.
So this is a character that is not very popular. I take it.
I
But
almost
they
put
have
this.
they
I
have
almost
solo.
put this, Fred. I almost put this in the question, and I forgot. This is a very popular character.
Oh,
That's why it's so weird.
okay. Weird. Okay, and their older stuff has only been done in black and white.
Yes, yeah.
Reprinted in black
from
and
the
white.
70s.
So it's an old character. Stuff from the 70s. They have solo stuff. Listen, this is something that I'm never gonna get correct. There's no way. It just has to be someone. So I'm gonna say Namor. I'm gonna say Namor.
That is incorrect. Namor's
Okay.
original solo series is from the late 30s into the 40s.
Right. I know that he's old, but he also has other stuff, right? Like
He does.
Does he have other solo series? Okay.
He does. There's a Namor solo series right now. Well, it's a mini series. I've read the first 2 issues that are out. It's okay. Your hint. Besides the 3 modern versions of this character, there have been versions throughout history, including one we've seen in 1 million BC and one in the Wild West. There is even now a Wolverine that's a version of this character.
Okay. Well, somebody is awake currently. I should point that out, that we have been joined by Brandon. So he gets to watch me fail in my trivia. There are 3 modern versions of this character. So this is a character that has different versions of himself. And one of them is from 1 million BC, or we have seen one from 1 million
Yes.
BC.
And from the Wild West.
And from the Wild West. And this could be Spider-Man. There are 3 versions of Spider-Man. There are different versions of Spider-Man. I'm going to say Spider-Man. I'm going to say Peter Parker Spider-Man.
That is incorrect.
Okay. All right. Well, so Brandon, what Brad said you could do, I've now missed both the original and the hint, and I think you have missed the actual stuff. So to keep from re-describing it, Steven, why don't you take a shot at this?
I believe it's Black Panther.
That is incorrect.
Oh, noes.
It is Ghost Rider.
Ghost Rider. Okay. And there are modern versions. There's Robbie Reyes and another person.
Danny Ketch
Blaze
and Johnny
Okay.
Blaze. There is now a Helverine.
Yes.
Who's a Wolverine Ghost Rider. The 1 million BC Ghost Rider rode a woolly mammoth.
Oh, Tyrannosaurus Rex. Oh, woolly mammoth.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, which doesn't make sense because that wouldn't have existed then. And
A woolly mammoth would have existed at 1 million BC.
No, it wouldn't have, Fred.
Doesn't matter. It's still cool as fuck.
I don't know if there are people around. So there would be, if there's people around, there would be a woolly mammoth.
Yeah, there would have been a woolly mammoth.
I have issue with the number. I just
correctly,
don't feel like it's right.
Correctly, it would have been a mastodon.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Whatever.
Okay. All right. That is distinct. That is relevant. He's correct.
The Wild West one rides a horse, and I believe was in one of the movies, the Nick Cage movies.
Oh,
He's
okay.
in the first Ghost Rider movie.
Yeah.
Carter Slade or somebody like that.
I don't know his name. All right, so Fred has scored 0 points. Good job, Fred.
Yay.
All right, your second trivia question. This character's backstory has been changed so many times it's hard to keep track of. This character has been told that 3 different people have been their father, and finally that they don't have a real father. They and their brother had been created scientifically by the High Evolutionary.
Oh, okay. There are things about this that sound familiar. I don't know. I think I remember you telling me this. I don't know who it is. I don't know who this person is. Someone created by the High, or someone whose brother was created by the High Evolutionary.
Them and their brother.
Them and their brother. Is it Scarlet Witch?
That's correct. But I took time to write the hit, so I'm gonna read it anyway.
Okay.
This character's powers led this character to study magic to augment and control their natural gifts. That combination has made this character so powerful that they've been able to create people out of thin air.
I think I would have gotten it from that.
But specifically, she created children.
Right.
And then she uncreated them. And then they were randomly born to different women and eventually found each other.
Oh.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
Comics are weird. Okay.
Yeah, hey, I got one.
That's definitely more creepy than like aw.
Aw.
All
Aw.
right, Fred, you have 3 points. You just have to nail this one too. This character once sacrificed themselves to save the world from a demon invasion. During this sacrifice, this character went back in time and retrieved their younger self, leaving them in their place. That younger self got sick with an allegory for AIDS and died. The version of this character running around now is actually a version of the character from another universe. No one ever mentions this.
Huh. Is it Cable?
That is incorrect, but that's a decent guess. Like, that
Okay.
makes sense. Your
Like,
hint.
yeah. Okay.
Go ahead if you have something to say, Fred.
No. There's a young Cable in the
There is.
in 10 of Swords, and it would make sense with there being a young. But okay, go on.
Fred, do you know what the fans call young Cable?
What?
Dial up.
Fiber optic?
Dial up.
Oh my god. Okay, dial up. I like it. All right, go ahead.
This character is often brought up when talking about nature versus nurture of mutant powers. Their power is so tied to their traumatic childhood that it's hard to argue their power would have manifested in the same way had she not been raised in limbo, trying to escape that place. Her powers provided the perfect way to escape and have been forever tied to limbo.
Okay, it's magic.
That is correct.
Yeah.
Okay, so for 1 point, Fred, your bonus question. What do these characters have in common?
Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh shit. Okay, hold on. We've got magic. Oh no. I need to write these down.
Magic, Scarlet Witch, and Ghost Rider.
Hey, there we go. Magic,
Oh,
Scarlet
that's
Witch, and
no
Ghost
fun, Brandon. Let him struggle.
Rider.
He struggles enough during this. This is the
Okay.
He did
Magic's-
really good on everything but the first question.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm really
Magic's-
curious on what the first hint was on the first question.
It was all about the comics. It like about the history of the creation of the comics. It was like I
Yeah,
I
and
don't
like the
remember it
only
all.
comics I've read are Ghost Rider comics.
Yeah, I'll read it for you in a second, Brandon. Let him answer the question.
Okay. All right. So we've got 2 5 threats and a 3 threat. So it's not the threat value. They have
Fred, I'm going to
Yes?
give you a big hint.
Okay.
I had so much confidence that you were going to get this right when I wrote it. So don't let me
Oh
down.
no. Oh no. Oh no. I might be letting you down. Is it that they all come from hell in some way? I don't know if Scarlet Witch does. They're all in some way tied to hell.
You're letting Brad down.
I'm letting Brad
you
down.
are letting me down.
What is the thing I always tell you to think first?
Affiliation?
There you go.
What affiliation has magic?
None of
Ghost-
them. Don't listen to him.
That is he is lying. It is the affiliation that I started with.
I don't remember
shit.
what you started
They're all
with.
defenders? That is not the
They are
correct
all
answer.
defenders.
That's an accident. That's not
They
the
are
correct
all
answer.
defenders.
Okay. What is the correct answer, Brad?
They are all in the I'm gonna say cult classic video game Midnight Suns as members of the Midnight Suns.
Well, you're correct about that. You're right. That is. I didn't think that was going to be in play. That particular little
Fred,
side.
it's all in play.
Okay.
It's
I
all
thought you were
to
just
be-
giving him I thought you were giving him a bone and making one an affiliated because you haven't done that in forever.
No, that was completely on accident. I guess I did not even think about Magic being a defender because it's weird.
Johnny Blaze, is not the one that is playable.
It is Robbie Reyes.
It is Robbie Reyes is the playable Ghost Rider.
It's still a Ghost Rider.
Yeah. It's, okay.
Johnny Blaze is in the game.
And he is in the game.
Yeah.
He is in the game. So, all right. Well, I messed up, and I feel bad about it now.
Well, you lose.
I lose.
You lose. You lose. Oh,
Womp womp.
for Brandon. This character's solo series, plural, has had some problems seeing print. A lot of the series from the 90s has never been reprinted. The older series from the 70s has only ever been fully reprinted in black and white. And even weirder, the 90s run had a fully completed issue 94 that didn't get printed. That issue was printed eventually 9 years later in 2007.
Yeah, so how was
Yeah.
I, Fred
0%
Walker, ever
chance
going to
Fred
get
was
that?
ever going to get that.
There's no way I was ever
Zero
going to get that.
percenter.
Would you have known
Also,
it,
the
Brandon,
old.
from that?
I would have known the information, but it would have taken me too long to figure it out.
Okay.
I would have
I-
probably got it from the second hint. If they were like, if I would have heard the first one into the second one, I probably would have got
Yeah.
that. But the second one was definitely more Ghost Rider-y.
Yeah.
I also think Helverine's like the coolest thing ever. So
Do you know who it is?
like
who
no.
because Logan was Helverine in a crossover for like half an issue. Like it wasn't very long
Yeah.
at all. But now there's a permanent Helverine.
Yeah, I know it's not. I know it's not Logan.
It's Akihiro Dalkin.
Yeah, and say it's none of the.
It's Dalkin.
And it's none of the
his
Ghost
son.
Rider. Nice. That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Because Dawkins also played. He was a Wolverine at one point too, right?
He was a Wolverine on Norman Osborn's Avengers team.
Yeah.
Norman Osborn's Avengers. Weird.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, we're in a weird place talking about it. This is a weird world.
Fred, Norman Osborn takes over S.H.I.E.L.D., renames it Hammer, and has his own Avengers team of people pretending to be Avengers. So, like, his Hawkeye was Bullseye.
Yeah.
Huh.
His Wolverine
Okay.
was Dawkins, Wolverine's son.
It's way cooler. It's way cooler than the Thunderbolts.
No.
Thunderbolts suck.
No. The original
that bad.
Thunderbolts comic was super popular.
Yeah.
Okay, before we move off of this, I would like to defend my guess for how they're all connected. Magic is deeply connected to Limbo,
And Mephisto,
which can be called a hell.
Mephisto's one of the devils.
One of the devils.
Yeah.
The Ghost Rider is obviously deeply connected to a hell.
Uh-huh.
And then Scarlet Witch is deeply connected to Chthon, who is a powerful hell god.
More of a Cthulhu.
Yeah.
A chaos
I think
god.
my guess was pretty good. I think my guess was better than you give me credit for.
I would not. I didn't say it was bad, Fred.
Nobody laughed at you.
No. I would say Chthon is not related to hell, though, from what I know from the comics. So
Okay. All right. Well, let us move on then. Unfortunately, now that I have lost. So I'm going to ask Steven what his take on Angel is. Steven, what is your gut check here on the character Angel? Because you were not here for last week's episode.
Well, considering I listened to the pod, I heard there was a little contention between one Angel and one Vulture. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Fred's had a lot of hot takes recently.
I think Angel is in that category with Vulture, in that you look at him and you don't think anything's good about him or necessarily good. And why would you use this character? But then when you put him on the table, he'll actually perform a little bit above what you expect. So
yeah,
that's a nice little caveat. So I don't think he's bad. I don't think he's great. So, I mean, better than Viper? Yeah. Worse than Black Cat? Yeah. So, I mean, it's a wide range, right? So,
sure.
Being worse than Black Cat, though, is pretty standard.
Yeah, most threes are worse than Black
and
Cat.
being better than Viper is pretty standard, right?
Yeah. I do think Viper's massively underrated, though.
Yeah, but she doesn't quite have the utility that Angel does or Vulture does. For that matter.
Correct.
No.
Correct.
100% correct. She
All
should
right.
see a lot more play in the Hydra affiliation than she
Yes.
probably does.
Yes. What would you give Angel on a letter grade?
B minus. B minus.
Okay. Okay. That's totally. That's
You're in the
kind
realm,
of
yeah,
in
like-
range with what we have, what we gave him.
Mhm.
I
All
was
right.
going to be biasly higher on these characters than I have been before.
Yeah. Yeah. Because this guy is your favorite.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let us talk about Archangel, otherwise known as Warren Worthington III. Again, his defenses are 4 physical, 3 energy, and 4 mystic. He has 5 stamina on the front of his card and 6 on the back of his card. And he is a threat value of 4, a size 2, and a medium mover. And I should also state that he is on a medium base. All right. Brad, do the attacks.
Physical attack, Razor Wing Strike. Range 3, 5 dice, cost 0. Gain power equal to damage dealt. Wild Toxic Flechettes. After this attack is resolved, for each wild in the attack roll, there we go, the defending character gains one of the following conditions: bleed or poison. Crit Overwing. After this attack is resolved, place this character within 1 of the target character. Physical Avatar of Death, range 3, 7 dice, cost 3. Wild Neurotoxin. After this attack is resolved, this character gains the Stagger special condition. If the target character has the bleed and poison special conditions and does not have an activated token, it gains the activated token instead of gaining Stagger special condition.
Nice. All right. Steven, why don't you do the first 2 superpowers?
All right. First, we have an active superpower, Charge. We've seen it before. Costs 2 power. It's an action. This character immediately makes a move action followed by an attack action. The superpower can only be used once per turn. Also, an active superpower. Is that active? Shouldn't that be a reactive? Wing Shield 2?
It should be
Yes.
reactive. You're
Yeah,
correct.
that's just
That
a
is a misprint.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You're right.
When this character is targeted by a physical or energy attack or is making a dodge roll, it may use this superpower. Add 2 dice to this character's defense or dodge roll.
All right. And Brandon, why don't you do the passive superpowers?
He is the Chosen of Apocalypse. When this character makes an attack, it may change 1 die result to a hit for each wild in the attack roll, and he has flight.
Okay. So that is Archangel. He is essentially the same on the back. He gains 1 stamina. All right. On first blush, I gotta say, I like his kit, and I really like Chosen of Apocalypse. That is very cool. That is a cool little ability. If he gets lots of wilds, he's going to unmake whomever he is attacking, because each wild has a trigger effect as well. Pretty
Yeah,
good trigger effects, I should say.
Up to 2.
Yeah.
2 good conditions.
Yeah, I like Archangel. He is way more violence forward than Angel was. I don't think they're in the same category. They're not the same thing.
They're definitely not the same type of character.
Yeah, they're not the same type of character. All right. What do you guys think about what are your first thoughts about this guy, Brad?
I really want to roll 2 wilds every time he attacks.
I mean,
At least 2
same
wilds.
with Doc Ock. Yeah. Wilds are what make this guy work.
Yeah, it's Overwing's nice. I wish it just automatically did that though.
Yeah. Yes, I agree. That would be. I feel like that's almost. It should be a given instead of being on a crit trigger.
Yeah. Or even
That
if
feels
it
like
was,
something they tested and changed because of it.
but even if it was on a hit trigger, that would feel a lot better.
Yeah.
Even it being on a wild on him would feel better. Even though it's the same odds, there's more upside to rolling wild.
Yeah.
I mean, there's upside to rolling a crit, of course, but I love that he has a charge. That's probably why that wasn't an automatic place.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they have gotten better since the beginning of the game of making you want to use the spenders. Like, this spender is really good.
Yeah.
Well, the thing
I,
is, you really are just like poison's a harder condition to give out, but bleed is super easy to give
Yeah,
out.
bleed's really easy. But even if all you do is stagger, like, isn't that most of the reason people still play Black Cat now? Is because she staggers.
Listen, 3 power to stag. If it was automatic, it's like 3 power to stagger is like I'm taking that all day.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's 7
I've
die. It's 7 dice, so a wild's likely. It's like
yeah, I've done more
we've
for less.
we've done this a couple weeks ago. Wasn't it like almost 70%, or maybe it was a little more?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's close to that.
It's good.
All right. What are your thoughts on this guy, Steven?
He has a superpower you'll never use.
Which one are you talking about?
Wing shield.
Wait, yeah, yeah. You'll use it. I think that he will use it when he's attacked.
No, you cannot use it because it's an active superpower.
Oh yeah,
No, that's
it's
a
because it's a misfit.
mistake.
It's 66% to get a wild.
Okay, so 2 out of 3 times.
Yeah, yeah.
And if you have anything that gives him rerolls, like that number's obviously going to keep going up.
Yeah.
He's a 4-point. He's a medium move, medium base, and he has flight, so he has some purpose.
He can get
Besides
to back
just
points on turn
just
1.
not just attacking. So
Being able to get to the far point with defensive tech is really good. So like you can go to the back Bs, prevent a point, or place yourself in a spot to where maybe they can't get on the point, depending on how they deploy, and being ready with wing shield on the back end. Plus being able to charge your way out and get 2 attacks is still going to be really good. So like he has, I think that's a really good, like having offensive and defensive superpowers is becoming something they're doing a lot better of, and it's very enjoyable to have characters that can do both.
Brandon's kingpin bias is showing through.
What does nobody think about trying to get to the back point on the first start? No? Okay.
It
Just
doesn't
me?
it doesn't work as well if you're not playing kingpin, because they can just put 2 people there and still get the point. And if it's a B, like you said, they'll also get to attack you.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
in
I'll say
kingpin, that's
this: it is
great.
definitely, yeah, it's definitely a valid tactic outside of Kingpin. Like if they have to put 2 people there, that's 2 people that are there to prevent you from, or to score them a point. They
Yeah,
are
like
adapting to you, and you could activate him last and go throw him on a point to just
yeah.
contest it, make it so that they don't. I think that there's definitely play
I'm
in
just
what
saying it's not as good outside of kingpin.
Well,
that you're right. You're right.
and Fred knows better than most because when I play him, I rotate the hardest. So like if you can activate him and like survive, and then just being able to rotate to another point and making them use all their action economy to try to do stuff, is going to be helpful.
Yeah.
Uh,
Uh,
I'm excited for this guy in Cyclops. He tends to play more fours and in X-Men than Storm does, and this guy will be giving out power. He will probably get damage through, and he uses the power he gets. So I think he'll be really good in Cyclops.
Okay. We need to discuss him as a horseman. I don't think we've done this yet.
You're not gonna give Steven a chance to say what he thought. Oh, you did, right? Because Steven said
I did.
Steven
Yeah.
tried to troll you. That's right. I'm sorry. Continue,
I'm
Fred.
glad you picked up on it, Brad.
All right. Let's talk about his affiliation with Apocalypse, where he can be either death or pestilence. We've not done this yet, but I feel like with characters we need to do this to see how they would stack up in that affiliation.
Can I ask Brad a question real quick?
Sure.
On the app, where are those at to look at?
They are
So-
on the character. If
Uh-huh.
you hit there's a little green arrow that shows attachable, like relevant attachable cards. It's the same one that
It's the flips like it does to. Okay, yeah, I found it.
Yeah, the
It's
same
the same
button
thing that you would flip.
to
Go.
see grunts or the alternate card or anything. Every character has the ones they can be, and then Apocalypse has all of them.
Yeah. All right. So Archangel can be either death or pestilence. Death's superpower is created to end. During the next, it costs 3 power, and during the next attack, this character makes this turn. Add 1 die to the attack roll for each damage the target character has, to a maximum of 3. The superpower can be used only once per turn, and it has a passive Horseman of Death superpower. Once per turn, when another character is dazed or KO'd by this character, or this character is dazed or KO'd, after the effect is resolved, Master of the Horseman gains 3 evolution tokens. Let's talk about Archangel as death. Archangel's going to be killing stuff. Archangel's going to be dying, because he is a little on the fragile side. He is a perfect death. I think he's a perfect death.
Being able to add 3 dice to the attack?
It's up to 3.
Yeah,
It's
being able to
based
add,
on the damage they have.
Yeah, if you can add 3 die to the builder, and come out with a couple extra wilds because of that.
Yeah, he'll be good at finishing off characters, which is what you want Death to do.
Yeah.
Especially,
He might also be a good kaiju hunter. Like you put a bunch of
Yes.
damage on Hulk
Yeah.
and then you roll in with created to end.
So that's what you say is why I think he's a better pestilence.
I agree with you that he is a better pestilence. Let's move over to that card.
Hold on. Back
Okay.
to your kaiju hunter.
Okay, kaiju hunting.
Yes, if they do have 3 or more damage on them, and you do create to end, which you'll probably use tokens for, and then charge, and then do his spender, so that they get either an activated token or a stagger. I think that is really good, Fred. Just to your point.
Yes, I think that Archangel is a perfect kaiju hunter. Archangel is built clearly to be a horseman of the apocalypse.
Yeah.
I think that this is more than any other character is built to be a horseman of the apocalypse.
And I don't think he's a bad version of Death, for the record. I just think what we're talking about is a little bit better on the second part of Pestilence.
And Fred, it's
You're
almost
getting ahead of yourself.
Fred,
I know.
It's almost like he was designed along with Apocalypse with the Horseman cards in mind, and everyone else was already characters that were in the game that they shoehorned into the affiliation.
Right.
It's almost like that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, it's almost like that is how this shook out. Let's talk about Pestilence. All
it's
right.
like he was chosen.
All right.
By Apocalypse?
That's weird, right? I never knew that character had anything
Is he
to do
also
with
maybe the Master of Death?
Never heard of that before. That checks out though.
All right, Pestilence. it contains a superpower, an active superpower called Consuming Blight. It costs 2 power. For each enemy character within range 2, choose one of the following effects. If that character has the poison, root, or slow condition, it suffers 1 damage. And that character gains one of the following, or that character gains one of the following special conditions: poison, root, or slow. This superpower can be used only once per turn. And then the passive ability, Horseman of Pestilence. At the end of this character's activation, Master of the Horseman gains 1 evolution token for each enemy character that gained 1 or more special conditions during this character's activation. So, you know how I said that Archangel makes a perfect death? Archangel makes a perfect pestilence. Archangel can fill both roles absolutely perfectly. Archangel gives out poison and bleed
He
in
sure
it
does.
on triggers, but on his builder, and he has the ability to place himself if he gets that trigger right where you want him to be
Or charge.
in the middle, or charge. He can charge into position to put himself within range 2 of a bunch of enemy characters and use the Consuming Blight. And then the Horseman of Pestilence, he will generate a ton of evolution tokens. I think this is great. He is a great pestilence.
You know what
I
else
think
you
he's
could
a
do, Fred?
fantastic pestilence.
And this
What's
isn't
that?
even a crazy thing to do. You could charge in, and let's say you get a wild and you choose bleed. Let's go Hulk, something that's gonna survive.
Right.
Then you do the Horseman ability, and you Hulk was
Give
a bad
him poison.
example because he can't get poison.
Oh, he's immune to poison.
Okay, let's say
yeah.
Malekith. You bleed him, you use the Horseman ability to poison him, and then you spender him and give an activation token.
Yep.
It gives you a lot of different avenues to get those 2 triggers to give an activated token if you want. And if you don't need the activated token, you can just do an extra damage to Malekith.
Right.
Or a last activation stagger is also really good.
That's true.
Sure.
Like even if they've already activated, you give out that stagger, that's going to hurt them next round.
That's what I'm saying. Like if you don't need the activated token, it's even easier, and you have even more options.
Yeah.
You could
also free damage is really good.
You could also the next turn activate Archangel as your first activation when he's in the middle of all those people you just gave tokens to, the conditions to. You can activate your Horseman thing again, deal damage to all of them, and then charge out of that situation so they don't beat him up.
Man, Archangel rules as a Horseman of the Apocalypse.
And it's really crazy when I see people, because there's local people who are building Apocalypse lists, and if they don't have Archangel in there, I'm very confused.
Yeah. How is this not the first person you take every single time you make an Apocalypse list? I don't see how...
He was the first one I put in my roster.
Yeah. I think absolutely. All right. I'm being effusive. Steven, I would like your opinion on... you have not talked much on these. What are your thoughts on him as Death and as Pestilence?
As Death, I don't think he's the best character, in my opinion, for Death.
Okay.
I would give that to...
Yeah.
I would give that to Psylocke. Honestly.
Yeah.
A good choice. A good choice.
I don't even know who all Pestilence is, because Psylocke can add dice with her telekinetic move, and then if they're damaged, she can spend another 3 power. That's a 10 dice attack. Mystic or energy. That's very solid. And
that's gonna kill something.
For Pestilence, you can have Archangel, Beast, Cable, Colossus, Sinister, Sabretooth, Blob, and Toad.
Yeah, he's probably best on Pestilence.
It's either him or Colossus. And I think Archangel's better.
Yeah. But yeah, on death, I think Psylocke's your take at the 4th threat level. And that's what we should compare him to, right? Are the 4 threats that are able to take these. So comparing them to a 3 or 5 or a 2 is kind of
apples and oranges.
Yeah, exactly.
You mean
so
he's better than what Toad can do?
but I'm saying, if you build your roster and then you come to the table and you're like, oh, I have a 4 and I can make them death, and you have Psylocke or Archangel, you're going to pick Psylocke. If you have Sabretooth,
I think you are correct.
Mhm.
I would just play Psylocke as death and him as pestilence.
Yeah.
Right.
When I
I'm
could.
saying
when I could.
The 4 threats that are pestilence besides him, I think he's the best one. Yes.
Yeah.
I will agree with that. So
All right. There are 2 tactics cards that are associated with Archangel that we need to talk about. And so I will begin with Battlebound. This is an unaffiliated active tactics card. When Archangel begins a move action within range 3 of an allied Psylocke, during his activation, he may spend 2 power to play this card. When Archangel ends this move, place Psylocke within range 1 of him. Psylocke may immediately perform one of her attacks that has a listed power cost of 0. Holy crap!
This is why you make Psylocke death and him.
Yes.
Yeah. It's exactly
this is
what I was
insane.
thinking.
This card is insane.
The fact that it's a drop off, but you can do it from range 3 is wild.
Is nuts. I feel like this card breaks. Like Apocalypse.
Did he say it right? Brad, did he say the name correctly?
Battlebound?
Yeah, I didn't know. I didn't know if you. So me and Brad the other night said it wrong like 3 times in a row.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, what?
I called it Battle Bond.
Oh, okay.
And I heard, what did I hear? Battle something. Battle. I don't remember.
Board. I don't know. This card is stapled to if you are bringing both Archangel
Battle
and
Blood.
Psylocke.
Oh yeah, Battle Blood is what I thought he had said.
If you are bringing both Archangel and Psylocke, you are bringing this card. There's no reason you don't.
Man.
Do you disagree?
No, I do. In X-Men as well, like this will be really good. It's just hard to play more cards in X-Men. I mean,
you take this card. You do. Yeah, over whatever you're thinking about it.
I mean, they got a lot of good cards.
It does depend on what your game plan is and where you want to position them. Like there are scenarios where they're holding down opposite Bs.
Yeah.
I was
play different.
Not that near each other.
I was disappointed, Fred, because I was looking up Psylocke's telekinetic combat enhancement, the thing that moves her short and gives her extra dice. I was seeing if it was next time this round she makes the attack.
Oh, I see what you're thinking.
and then, like, if you use it on your turn to move short, but you don't ever make the attack for the dice, could you later get those extra dice on this attack? And it's not. It's per turn. So
okay.
That's why I was sad. I thought I had come up with a cool piece of
cool tech.
Yeah.
I think that it's crazy that this card does not cost Psylocke anything. Psylocke can do this without having any power at all.
That's good because Psylocke uses all her power all the time.
It's a free attack. That's the big thing.
It's a free attack that she gains power for. It's a build. She uses her builder. She will gain power from it.
She also has a gainer with Pursuit. So she can, it's range 4 Mystic. So range 4 is going to hit anywhere. And then she could move short again during that attack.
Yep.
She could get a bunch of places with this too.
Yeah. This card is good. That is my take. What is everyone else's take? Brad,
My take is
thumbs up,
that
thumbs down.
what? What'd you say, Fred?
I said thumbs up or thumbs down.
Oh, no, my take is that Fred is generally an idiot, but he's right about this. This is a good card.
Brandon.
Wow.
Fred's had some real weird takes recently. This is not one of them.
Yeah, that's true.
Um,
That's true.
The hardest thing you're gonna run into is playing both Psylocke and Archangel. I mean, unless you're playing Brad's bad Cyclops list.
Hey,
Um,
You
I
could or
But
that
Apocalypse.
list is
this
so good. I made my opponent quit the other day.
the thing is though, this card is gonna be really, really good in X Force. With Archangel, Psylocke, like Bishop and Cable at 17. Um, this is going to be a really good card because both these models are going to be really, really good under Emma and Hellfire Club. There are a lot of really good places to play it. I do think Hellfire Club is the best place to play it because they need character tactics cards. They've eliminated most of the non-character tactics cards that are really worth taking. So when you're building a Hellfire Club list, you're really you're really hoping for characters with tactics cards. But Angel and Archangel brought in a ton. So
And they're all
Yeah, they did.
good.
yeah, they
They're
gave
all
us
good.
4 cards, and all 4 of them are good.
Steven,
Yes.
what's your thoughts here on this card?
Play it. I mean, why wouldn't you?
The thing, this
It's-
feels like the card that was designed to be the fun card too, and it's like,
Yeah.
what? Like,
It's too good.
It's like what when you're playing A Force, everybody plays special delivery, right?
Mm-hmm.
So why not?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. Why not?
Psylocke hits hard when she wants to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she does. All right, let's talk about another tactics card that's coming with Archangel. And that one is called Death from Above. Archangel may spend 2 power to play this card at the start of his activation if he is overlapping a terrain feature. This turn, when Archangel attacks a character that is not overlapping a terrain feature or is overlapping a terrain feature of a lesser size than the terrain feature Archangel was overlapping when this card was played, add 2 dice to the attack roll. Okay. This card is not as good as the previous one. I think this card is still good. I think this card is still pretty good. It may be quite good.
Fred, I think it's on the other side of the will this make the 5 line.
It might be.
Except in some
It might
cases,
be.
like Hellfire Club, where you're
Hellfire Club.
where you're trying to fill out stuff, it may get played.
Yeah.
But you're
for
not.
X-Men, it'll be tough to play this card.
Oh, there's no way.
X-Men, it doesn't make the 10.
Yeah.
No, I don't think it does. The problem is if you're ever taking Psylocke with him in something like Hellfire Club, you're gonna take that other card over this card.
Yeah. And you could take this card if you're doing like an Apocalypse list and you don't have Psylocke in the game you're playing. You might take this card.
This card, you have to be really careful, like, of the board you're playing on, because, like, if there are terrain pieces by points, and you can stand on like a truck and still be contesting a point, like you can kind of set yourself up in those positions to where when the opponent comes to contest, you're in range of your attacks, but you're still on the terrain piece. But you have to be very cautious of the board because like if you're playing a game on say like a B and it's F extract, because on Thursday that was what was played. So like if you think about it in that scenario, like if there's no terrain that you could have stood on or they could have stood on, or Saturday, I'm sorry. If there was no terrain they could have stood on for those points, which I think at there like on the one side there was, this card would have been really bad to play because you would have had to be out of the fight attacking to use this card. So this card's definitely more situational than the other ones, but on terrain heavy and like in certain situations, this is a really good card. If you can stand on a point and they come contest it, on turn 2 you can add 2 dice. If you can get your wilds, I mean you're gonna really hurt them on your builder. And then if it's like a kaiju that comes over, then you can give them the conditions and try to stagger them.
Mm-hmm.
But it's definitely more situational. This card requires a lot more mental than any of the other Archangel cards.
Yeah. It requires setup. It requires you to think through exactly how it's going to play out.
You have to
And,
think far ahead.
yeah. And it costs as much as Battlebound does. It costs 2 power.
Yes.
I feel almost as if this one should cost 0 power. I think this one should cost nothing.
I think you're right. That would make it better.
It would be more
Or
playable if it
one.
cost 0 or 1. Yeah, if
One
it
would be
cost
okay.
nothing, it just requires so many stipulations. You have to be. I guess it only requires you to be above them. And he has range 3 attacks, which are he can reach out and touch anyone, touch a lot of people from the top of a building. But still, I think that this card is not as good as the previous. I think it is a playable card. It's not a terrible card. It's just not going to see played because of how many good tactics cards there are for where he is. What's everyone's opinions? I guess we've all said them. Steven, what's your opinion on this one? I haven't asked you.
This card reminds me of a card that got rotated out. That
Which
was kind of hard to use and added two dice.
which card is that?
Called 1-2 punch,
Oh,
where you
okay.
had to be by somebody. In this stipulation, it's about terrain and being higher than other people, and other people not being in terrain.
Right.
There are better ways to get 2 more dice to your attack than using a tactic card and wasting a slot.
Yeah.
I.e., Baron Mordo, can do that pretty easily.
Or just be death and have them have 2 damage on them.
Correct. Yep. So, yeah, I don't think this card sees play, honestly.
Okay. Yep. All right. I think I largely agree. We have talked quite a bit. We need to give a full-on letter grade here for Archangel. I am quite impressed with Archangel, specifically in Apocalypse. I think he has places in X-Force. He will definitely see play. He will see play probably in X-Men under Cyclops. I know that Brad's gonna play him under Cyclops. But under Apocalypse, I think is where he really is gonna shine. Where you were really gonna see the most out of this character. I think. I mean, I'm at B plus, and I am just a stone's throw away from giving him an A minus. I think I'm gonna give him an A minus. I think that Archangel is an A minus character. Part of why he's not higher than that, I do think he's fragile. I think he's very fragile, even with the defensive tech he has, and the dependence on triggers. But that is something that can be fixed. He can, but yeah, that's where I stand. All right, A minus. Brad, what are your thoughts here on Archangel?
I'd say B.
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 Okay. All right, Steven.
I'm actually with Brad on this one. I don't think he's overwhelming. I don't think he's underwhelming. I just think he's a good role player.
He's whelming.
Yeah,
it's whelming.
but he's a good role player, right? So
he fills a role. Yeah. Brandon, what are your takes?
I'm with you. I'm at an A minus.
Okay.
I'm at an A minus. I know, wild, right? That I'm overgrading
This
my
may be the
favorite
first time
mutant.
that you and I have agreed for a while.
Yeah, I am. I understand the thing. I think he has a ton of play in Hellfire Club, like a ton of play in Hellfire Club, and I think he can be splashed in other affiliations if you want to play him. I think it's just like with X-Men, I think he's pretty decent under Xavier too. Like Xavier in Apocalypse, and if he's actually affiliated Hellfire Club, which I mean, I know isn't like super relevant, but could be down the line. I think that's going to be rather. I think he's going to be the Angels. I think both Angel and Archangel are going to be both really, really good in Hellfire Club.
Yep. Okay. All right. So that was our take on Archangel. Um, I like him. I think he's good. I think he's quite good. Brad, do you have any comic books that feature Archangel instead of just Angel?
I do. So here we go. I have 3 for you, and the first one is X Factor 9 through 26. So this is by Louise and Walter Simonson. They are a pair of creators that got married. They met making comics and they got married. And they did X Factor for a long time, and it is really good. And this covers the X Factor parts of Mutant Massacre through Fall of the Mutants. You don't need to read the other parts of these crossovers, and there's some stuff in between as well. But this is the complete tale of Angel's Fall and Archangel's Rise. So it tells the whole tale of what happened to Angel to cause him to turn into Archangel and how all that happened and stuff. This includes one of the best apocalypse stories ever written too. Just
Because most of Apocalypse's stories are bad.
yes, yeah, that's exactly why.
Yeah.
That's exactly why. This is also the end of this section of comics is what I recently gave Jared to read because he wanted to read an apocalypse story.
That was the one that had the weird looking horses on the back.
Yes, yeah, that the original Horsemen have. Well, 3 of them, not Death, which is Archangel. Those are interesting characters. All right, the next recommendation is X-Force from 2008, 1 through 28. This is Craig Kyle, Chris Yost, and Clayton Crane. Cyclops has put together an X-Men kill team led by Wolverine. Their job is to take care of threats permanently before they become bigger problems. Often referred to as the Black and Gray X-Force, Archangel is a major player on the team, trying to juggle his morals with his lust for killing.
Okay, so hold on. So Angel didn't have a lust for killing when he was Angel.
No.
He was like a genuinely good dude.
Yes.
What happened?
I mean, he was a billionaire, so
Well, yeah.
So you want me to spoil the last one? Okay.
Okay, just go ahead.
Nope. I'll tell you, Fred. It's a well-known story. Most people have heard it before. So Angel hanging out with his high school friends. Are you there, Fred? Is anybody there?
I'm here.
Okay, I think we lost Fred.
Oh no.
Brandon, are you there? We may have also lost Brandon.
Oh no.
No, I'm here. My mic's just not wanting to turn on.
Oh, okay. So we've lost Fred. I'm gonna wait for Fred. How are you guys
I'm back.
doing?
I'm back, by
Oh,
the way.
Fred,
I'm
you're back. Okay.
Sorry.
I heard a little digital hiccup and just had a gut feeling I had lost you.
You were correct.
Okay. So, as I was saying, Angel's hanging out with his high school friends, the original X-Men. And the Marauders are attacking the Morlocks. So the Marauders are a team of bad guy mutants that we've talked about before. And the Morlocks are, I'm going to say, neutral mutants. They're just trying to live their life in the sewers of New York because they're all ugly. And so they're just hiding. And the Marauders are killing them. And Angel goes down to try to save them. And he is pinned by the wings against the wall in the sewers. Okay, Fred, you're with me so far?
Okay. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you.
So his wings get infected because he's pinned to a wall in a sewer. And he's rushed to the hospital. They're trying to save him. And they want to amputate his wings, which he does not want to do. And his friends know he doesn't want to do it. But Archangel's gay roommate from college who's obsessed with him and is evil and wants to kill all mutants has medical power of attorney and tells them to cut his wings off.
Hmm.
And so Angel loses his wings. Angel then flees the hospital after he wakes up and gets in a plane because he wants to fly again. And he takes off in the plane, and the plane blows up. Once again, this is Cameron Hodge. He's trying to kill Warren because then he'll inherit his business and all his money and stuff. I don't know why his gay best... No, not... I keep wanting to say best friend. They were friends. I wouldn't say best friend. But his gay roommate from college would inherit his fortune, but whatever. The plane blows up, and Warren seems to be dead. However, right before the plane blows up, Apocalypse has teleported him out and given him these metal wings to replace his wings and made him his angel of death.
Okay. And that made him give him a lust for killing?
Yeah, he's death. He wants things to die.
Okay.
Yep. And then his high school friends have to all fight him, and he eventually rebels against Apocalypse and rejoins them and finds himself a cop girlfriend with a son and blah 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 blah.
Okay. Who's into blue men?
Well, she herself is black. So she understands someone looking at you and not liking you because of the color of your skin. So that's not a deal breaker for her.
Okay.
Okay. And then much later, he joins this kill team led by Wolverine that, kills people.
Okay.
But he doesn't really wanna. So that's the drama there. Anyway, that series, when it ends at issue 28, leads right into Uncanny X-Force in 2010. And the first 25 issues of that is what I'm recommending. This is by Rick Remender and Jerome. It's either Jerome or Jeremy Apina. Angel stops appearing after issue 25, but this whole series tells one complete story, and I recommend that you keep reading past issue 25. But part of that creation that we just talked about, Fred, was the creation of Archangel. Apocalypse put in the ability that when Apocalypse dies, for Archangel to take over as the new Apocalypse.
Ooh, interesting. Wait, but Apocalypse can't die.
So Apocalypse dies, and Archangel turns into Apocalypse and is the bad guy of this series for most of the series.
Oh, weird. Interesting.
Yeah. And so now all of his friends, including his, I think at this point, ex-girlfriend, but they might still be dating, Psylocke, are trying to, stop his evil schemes and revert him back to the Warren Worthington they know and love. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Of course, they have to be. They're battle bound, Brad.
They sure are. They
All right,
dated
well-
for a very long time in the comics.
They're battle bound. They have to.
Whatever.
All right, Brad. Well, thank you very much for that. Brandon, do you have any affiliation where he will probably not be affiliated in, where you think he would really shine?
You have a guess?
Is it? No, I don't have a guess. Go
I
ahead.
do.
Wow. You have a
My
guess?
brain's not on.
Hellfire Club.
He might be affiliated there.
He might be
Oh,
affiliated.
that's okay.
I do.
Oh, Kingpin.
Ooh, Kingpin is a good one too. Medium base, medium move, and stagger. No, that's not what I was going with. Midnight Suns
Oh, Midnight Suns.
with Blade and Bleed matters.
Yeah, that's true.
Being able to only need to get poison to trigger your activated token, because a lot of the rest of the affiliation can give out bleed. Build around that, and just being able to activated tokens are really, really good.
And in affiliation, you have Strange and Fist also.
Yes, that's what I was going to get
Yep.
to. When you have Strange and Iron Fist, who also can give out activations,
You can just prevent your opponent from activating ever.
if you can get
You
even
can't-
like so, like
You can't do that, Fred.
yeah, you can't. You definitely can't do that.
You can
ex-
prevent Hulk from activating ever.
You can in the
Yeah.
you can do yes, yes, but taking out a model from like pretty much the entire game is going to be really relevant. Or taking them down a model a turn. Iron Fist can get his off like once a game guaranteed, but there are a lot of games where you can get it, especially if you're playing on like Infinity Formula. Getting it off twice is not hard. So being able to do that twice. Archangels is a little bit easier, especially if you're playing with a Bleed Matters and you only really need that poison. Because people don't naturally want to shake that poison. Because it's not super relevant. Like it stinks, but it's not the one you think of like, oh god, I really need to shake this. So poison can last for a while on models until they do spin an action to shake it, which is effectively like
A stagger.
yeah. And in that scenario, it's like, well, I'll activate you, or it's like a stagger. So you're in that boat where if they do activate with poison, now they have stagger and poison, and you're just staring at them like, well, I can activate you next turn. If they can spend their whole turn doing both, you're in a good spot. But if you can take away that, and the other one that I was thinking of, I think you can play for the same aspect is with Strucker and Hydra, because he gives out poison like candy. And you can be in a similar situation. I also think similarly with Warlock and New Mutants, because he can give out poison. Warlock, right?
Yes.
So
Yeah,
character,
you're
yeah,
correct.
gives out poison, yeah. And New Mutants, when that comes out, also, something to consider. Just being able to really trigger that activated tokens are really good to put on characters, and if you can do it for 3 power, that's a lot better. Because a lot of
Alright.
those things that give out activated tokens cost a whole heck of a lot more than 3.
Yeah. This is maybe the cheapest one.
Strange is 5, right?
It's 4.
It's 4. And outside of that, Dim Mak
Well-
on Shang-Chi is 8. Or
Yeah.
5. 5. Right.
I don't know. All right. Well, thank you very much, Brandon. The only thing that is remaining is my non sequitur recommendation. So much like last time, it's the same person. It's Warren Willie. It's whatever this guy's name is. And I don't have much, so I'm just gonna. I've been watching a lot of easy to watch things that don't require a whole lot of brain power. And there is a streaming service that I've become a very big fan of called Dropout TV. It is made from the people who used to be in College Humor, and so now it is its own streaming service. And on that streaming service, there is a show called Game Changer. and it is a game show where the rules change every single episode, and it is extremely entertaining. You have some of the funniest comics out here. Every time they do an episode, being put into situations where they are forced to be hilarious. Is easy to watch. It is hysterical. Highly recommend. It's very good show. And that will do it for today for our episode of Archangel. Thank you everyone for joining us, and thanks to my fellow cast members for talking and listening to me prattle on. I hope that everyone out there has a wonderful rest of the week. Goodbye.